All right. Should be nice and set up. Let me go ahead and check my camera. And my camera's not on. Let's see now. And bam! We are back in business. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Hope all of you are doing an absolutely fantastic. I decided to go ahead and stream an extra day. I got a little time tonight. And honestly, I just really want to get through with Pillars of Eternity so we can finally jump into Pentiment. I'm hoping we could do at least a little bit of that tonight. We'll see how much more Pillars of Eternity we have left. But no need to waste any more time. Let's go straight into playing games. Can you all see the gaming screen? You can. And oh, that's right. Before we move forward, we got a couple of conversations we got to deal with. So first, let's see what's on Edder's mind.
Doesn't that just beat all? Here I was, wondering all this time whether all these terrible things were people's fault or the gods. Turns out they might be the same thing.
Black Fist, what's going on? How are you? Glad you're able to make the stream.
Wonder how things would have gone different 15 years ago if the Raid Sarens had been told their god was made in some forge or kiln someplace. Would we still have gone to war?
Boss Page, what's going on, man? Glad you're able to make the stream. People were starving. They'd have rebelled sooner or later.
I could see the rebellion still happening, but I don't know that they would have invaded.
He looks down at the ground, drumming his fingers against his side restlessly. When he speaks again, it seems half to himself.
I don't know. When Woden left for war, we, had a fight. As brothers will.
What about?
About him going off to war. He was set on it. My parents warned him. They said you get a new country with every trip across the border, but your god, you only get the one. Me? I didn't know who was right. All I knew was I didn't want him to go. It's the same for families as it is for gods. You only get the one. I said every vicious thing I could think of, trying to change his mind. He brushed it off. Just got me madder, of course, him being so calm. He said I should come with him, but he'd understand if I didn't want to. I told him he'd better be able to face his god one day and answer for what he'd done. He said he'd keep that in mind. And then he was gone.
Boss Page, I saw the new Rogue Trader trailer, and I did film a reaction to it, so that's going to release tomorrow. But otherwise, I didn't see any information about it. Were there any other trailers that I would probably want to check out when I get through streaming?
By the time I'd cooled off, months had passed. One morning, it dawns on me that my brother always knew better than me. If he was so sure of what he was doing, then I should be there with him. I packed my things and was on the road that same morning. Of course, what I didn't know then was he'd already changed his mind. By that time, he was dead on that field.
Do you think he went to Widewind because of what you'd said to him?
Crossed my mind. You live in a place like Gilded Vale. You don't have a whole lot else to do other than think about things you don't want to think about. I hope that wasn't it. I hope he went there because it's what he thought was right. But it seems I'm not meant to know.
They released a Baldur's Gate 3 trailer? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then, yeah, I definitely got to check that out. And then Dark Tide Warhammer. I don't know anything about that game, but yeah, I'll definitely check that out as well. Interesting. Was it a good show? So if you'd left with him, you'd have known why he changed his mind.
If I'd have left with him, we'd both be dead, so I don't know why I bother thinking about it. He asked me to trust him the day he left. Said if I went with him, he'd make sure we were on the right path. And he deserved that. He deserved that trust from me. Raid Saris is a long way to walk on your own. I think I'd have liked to have been there with him on that journey. Even knowing how it ended.
Let's be on our way.
Still one more mess we gotta straighten out. Come on then. I still owe you one.
They will follow up with a panel as well. Okay. Interesting. I forgot that this is one of the things that irritates me about Edder. I don't like the way his quest ends. I don't feel like there's a real resolution to what happened to his brother. And I don't like that at all, frankly. I think it's not particularly well done. At least that's what an update claims. Okay, I'll look out for the panel. I'm pretty sure I streamed the last one, so maybe I'll do a stream of the next panel as well. Hulk, what's going on, man? How are you? Glad you're able to make the stream. So, Slandered, are you going to live stream a playthrough of the new Solasta Interstate DLC anytime soon? I streamed it Sunday. So if you go on my channel and then look at the list of live videos, you'll see it on Sunday that we did. I think it was 2, maybe 3 hours of Solasta, where I walked through the different classes and we did some combat and some gameplay, all that good stuff. I don't plan to do a full playthrough of Solasta. But you know, if enough people end up asking, that could change. But right now, I've got other things on my plate. We're finishing up Pillars of Eternity. I plan to do Pentiment afterwards, and then we're going to do Pillars of Eternity too. So that's what's on my schedule right now, other than Midnight Suns, which I do plan to stream when it finally comes out. Yeah, there's a complex script that kind of goes everywhere. Absolutely.
Our whole lives, and many lives before that. And it's led us to put our faith in a pantheon of gods that never deserved it in the first place.
People need something to believe in. The gods, however they came to be, have served that purpose.
I'm surprised to hear you say this. It seems that much harm comes from imposing authority where perhaps none is needed. We've seen the atrocities that members of the Leaden Key have committed without even understanding why or for whom they act.
For once, the half-souled elf is right. To live in ignorance is to allow the gods to have their way with us.
I've also been thinking, there won't be much left of Theos by the time you're done with him, if I know how you operate. That will leave the Leaden Key headless. Perhaps it's best it stays that way.
Are you talking about some new Mass Effect news? Because I don't remember seeing anything new about it. Happy birthday to your dad, though. We can all only hope to live for that long and at least somewhat have their minds. To be able to, I don't think getting old in and of itself is a blessing, but if you're able to get old and keep your health, that is definitely a blessing. I agree.
Then let's face Theos. When this is all over, I'll make sure that no one is able to commit his abuses again.
Yeah, I don't agree with you about the gods overall, but yeah, the Leaden Key, they're not what's up. They're not doing good work. Bam, bam, bam. I got to search for him.
Keeping an eye out.
Of course, it was too much to hope that he would just pop up. Yeah, I'm taking
Certainly.
care of him, keeping him sharp as he enjoys retirement.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we note a rather sharp drop somewhere around here?
That's
Physical burdens anchor me.
that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I know that day's gonna come when I'll be taking care of my parents, and I hope that I'm up to the task to make them as comfortable as possible in their twilight times. Are these the souls that helped me get down the well? Are they now showing up to light my path?
Full of surprises, aren't you?
Many spirits stir here, edged with anger, violence, slowly.
We light our own path now, Watcher.
You do that again? I had something in my eye. Missed most of it.
I can't wait for the Game Awards this year, and I hope we would get some new trailers, especially a new Dragon Age 4 trailer. Man, I would love a new Dragon Age 4 trailer. Huge fan of Dragon Age, so any information we can get, I would definitely appreciate. I don't know if they're supposed to be announcing something during the Game Awards, but it would be helpful. I'll be honest, I'm kind of disappointed that Wrath of the Righteous didn't get
Give me any more
as far
gifts
as
and
I could
people
tell,
start
didn't get
thinking
any
you're playing
nominations. Maybe I
favorites.
didn't look closely enough at what they're offering, but yeah, I didn't see his name come up anywhere, so that was a little disappointing to me. But it's always still a big event. And here we go. Ba, 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 ba.
I'll see
The
what
Game Awards is going to be all straight. People love. Nah, it's not. Nah, it's not. There's just no way. It's not going to be dominated by that freaking game as much as people loved it.
I haven't seen before.
That would be crazy though. I'm sure quite a few developers would be upset if that happened. Why can't I click on the magnifying glass here? What's the problem? Chalky bits of bone break away between your fingers. Whoa. Okay. That was very interesting. Boom, boom, boom. All's you. Everybody, oh yeah. No, sir, there is no escape. It's legit in every category. You're serious? Wow, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that game, don't get me wrong, but still. Come on now. Come on now.
The term godlike doesn't refer to my ability to carry
Quiet all that complaining. Whale. Ooh. Abandonment. What's going on? How are you? I can't complain at all. That's crazy, Boss Page. It's in every freaking, damn near every category? There's no way the power of cat is strong this year. That's crazy. Jason, what's going on, man? How are you? Glad you're able to make the stream. The shadows in the cavern suddenly lengthen and swallow you. When your eyes adjust to the darkness, you find yourself in the midst of what must be another vision. You are surrounded by mist. The ground feels springy under your feet. You imagine that as soon as you take a step, the soil behind you will erase all trace of your passage. As if on cue, the mist before you cleared just enough for you to take a couple of steps forward. You do, and the fog closes behind you. You continue for several minutes in this manner, one step at a time, never seeing more than the ground right in front of you. Eventually, rays of light cut through the haze, and you find yourself facing a canyon wall. Palagina's head violently snaps to one side, her eyes tracking some unseen threat. She puts her hand to the side of her face, where two of her feathers have been cut short near the base. Tufts of down float in the air. Something whizzes past you. Just as you turn, you catch another whir of movement. Out of the mist flits a shape, small and round. You think you see another and another. They tickle the corners of your vision. You turn back to the canyon wall. The sun shifts along its path, and what looked like a smooth rock face is the hollow of a cave. A figure steps out, its figure shifting and changing before your eyes. The figure transformed from male to female, from Orland to Amwa, its bones lengthening and its fur receding into its flesh. The only detail that remains constant is the smooth, eyeless face. The whizzing, rushing shapes from the mist converge on the figure, and as they form a spinning cloud, you realize that they are eyes.
You understand the value of a mystery watcher, a buried scroll, a hidden truth. These are my ways. You unravel a thread, Watcher, one you have lost and discovered over generations. And following it to its end has only brought you back to the beginning.
The eyes track you, even as they circle the god. What are you talking about? Whale giggles, a strangely modulated sound that rises and falls as the god shifts from one form to the next. You seek and search while your foe obscures, and even your quest for answers to your past has only led you to another mystery and one grander still. I'm here to stop Wodaka from tipping the balance of power, which means you must scatter the very thing she seeks.
A nebula of souls, blind and brimming with potential. The answer to Woodaka's question and the beginning of yours. What would you do with them?
Rob, thank you for the $5. Appreciate it, man. I watched your latest Solasta video. Even though I do not care for the game, I do enjoy your voice. Ever consider reading books or making stories? Absolutely. Voice work in general is something I actually really enjoy and I want to get into. So my original plan was to do more of it this year, but between some things that happened and some health issues that occurred, I decided to put that on the back burner. But next year, it's going to be back to being a priority again. I definitely want to take up some opportunities to do some voice work because that's something I feel like I could make a career out of, hopefully. So glad you enjoyed the channel and that it seems like you agree that it might be something that I could do. To be frank, Boss Page, God of War has been an absolute blast to play so far. It's up there with Wrath of the Righteous and Elden Ring to me. I'm really looking forward to when that goes to PC. I'm not surprised at all, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't lose to, say, God of War Ragnarok. Yep. That Warhammer 40k Darktide beta looks fire. What kind of game is Darktide? Barath wants them returned to the cycle.
To live out countless lives, each old existence lost to the new. The point is never the end with that last shuddering breath, but all the years that lead up to it. Even the gods require fresh mysteries.
The clouds break and the torrent of rain washes Whale's features clean. His blank face molds itself again, taking on the shape of something you've never seen before. Do not consign the souls to the fate of some god's choosing. You have found them. Now scatter them across existence, their destination known to neither god nor mortal. Let them be lost again, new answers to new riddles. Behind him, the sudden downpour has carved new caves into the canyon. Intellect. You say I shouldn't let a god decide their fate, but it seems you're asking me to do just that.
In a way. But something must be done, and hurling them from the machinery of other schemes is the truest course of action.
What end would that serve?
No end, Watcher. That is the purpose.
But what would happen to the souls?
None know. They could end up anywhere in the realms of gods or mortals, whole or divided. Discovering them again and charting their course through the ether will be a new mystery.
Boss Page, did you play the last God of War, or you didn't play that game either? Darktide is just 40k Vimentitude. I haven't played that either, so I don't know what that is. Is it all basically like a first-person shooter? Farewell, Whale.
That is a word for endings, and this is but a crossroads. Even I do not know what you would choose.
Shadows from the new caves melt and spread across the landscape, covering you in darkness. When the light returns, the vision is gone. Okay.
Eyes open.
What's over here? A long segment of the bridge rises over the ruins of an ancient city. It looks stable enough, but the wide gap leaves little room for error. Leave. Where am I jumping to? Alright, let's do it. Jump to the freestanding segment. Durance gets a running start and leaps over the gap. However, Durance tries out upon landing and collapses on the other side in a tangle of limbs.
The term godlike doesn't refer to my ability to carry unlimited quantities of war spoils.
And looks like that's it. Okay. Jump to the other side. And Durance, he's injured. What? Yet again. Oh, well. I did, yes, but I've just reached that stage in my life where my interest in the things I used to enjoy is waning. It's like Left 4 Dead, but Rat Boys. If you play play that, otherwise it's a horde-based shooter. Oh, okay, interesting. So probably not something I'd be particularly interested in. Oh, you poor soul, Boss Page. Pretty sure that's called your dreaded 30s. Sage, I will turn 32 next year. Yep, sounds about right. Okay. Where am I supposed? Oh, here we go. I have no idea where I'm really supposed to be going, but we will keep moving forward. Sooner or later, I'm sure a path will illuminate. This is just crap. That's just crap as well. Shh. See now what the flame has shown us. Now we're going to go over here. Yep, that's what I thought. True end over here. I spend most days eating healthy and working out feverishly. Working out feverishly, he says, wow. So would you consider yourself a health nut, Boss Page? Why is she damaged? You know what? Fine, whatever. I don't care. Do what you're going to do, sister.
That's it. Spot on.
G-Star, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream, man. Slandered will always be for us 25. I wish.
Certainly.
The young always seem to wish that they're a little bit older, and the old wish they had their youth back. Nobody's ever satisfied. Wow. What is it about wives that they love to play games when you're finally streaming? When you're not streaming, everything would just be just fine and nothing would happen. They can see your hand just barely. Go to bed, darling. The only thing I have on the docket is asset creation. Me and my dad are going to set up a little shop and sell stuff to the community. It will be fun for my dad. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Why can't I go anywhere else? I'm confused. It seems like I should be able to go over here somehow. But nope, nothing's popping up. Okay. So let's stop sneaking around because now I'm confused. Is there something back over here that I'm supposed to do that I haven't done? I'm so confused. No, I can't get down there. Can't go up. Hey, take care, darling. I can't go up. Nothing I can do over here. I do a lot of cardio and core workouts myself, Boss Space. No, I'm not a health nut by any means, but I've taken the first steps on that road. Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. What in the hell is the problem here? Once I finish doing the diet and what I'm already doing is super hard already. There's some days when I run for 12 hours, mostly out of sheer unrelenting boredom and minority severe depression. Hey, sometimes that's what it takes to do right by yourself. Benjamin, what's going on, man? How are you? Little bit of depression is what made me start my channel in the first place. Sometimes it's what you need to finally do some things for yourself. What am I missing? I am so... Why didn't that pop up before when I walked right past it? Come on, man. Bum, bum, bum. Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Oh?
Oh. I was like, why can't I do anything with it yet again? What's the problem? Bum. And there we go. Worst part is no one smells good after running for 12 hours, even someone as magnificent as myself. The gym is a place of no judgment. Absolutely.
Certainly.
We're all here because we're working on our health goals. Oh, I still can't go down here. Okay, fine. I'll come up here. KK, what's going on? Good to see you. And yeah, Eder is still absolutely doing his part, and I appreciate him for it.
You give me any more gifts and people will start thinking you're playing favorites.
Are you ready
to take the oath, to spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
You give me any more gifts and people will start thinking you're playing favorites.
I am trusting you to remain loyal to the gods in this. If you do not, you will have greater powers than me to answer to. But you will answer to me as well. I
Wouldn't ask you if there was any other choice. Most of my days since I graduated has been spent either running, going to work, or sleeping around, which I could say actually isn't that terrible a life. Absolutely not. Certainly think of worse things.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong... Asionis.
Held back many would-be invaders.
You are ready to give a confession?
I am ready to hear one from you.
Is this the end? Let's save here in case it is. And at this point, should really learn that we are absolutely playing favorites. And he should know he's one of mine. Absolutely. What is this? Oh. Let's see if this is the actual end. I'm not sure if it is. Memories of the Ancients is completed. That's probably a sign. Maybe that's a sign. Ooh. Hey. Oh, is this where we decide what to do with the souls? And here's Theos. You've come to a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with Adra and trimmed with copper. At the far end, a great pillar of Adra pierces the floor from below like a ragged spike, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they are all questions. Toxic, what's going on? Yeah. It's been a long journey, but I believe we should be at the end tonight. Stubbs, what's going on, man? Glad you're able to make it. How are you? He's honestly even better in Deadfire. Rogue Fighter is super good. I know, and I'm looking forward to it. At the base of the pillar stands Theos, a look of concern on his face as he notes your approach. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all others, spinning madly in your mind, but you don't dare ask it yet. You need some admission from him first, some hint of the veracity of your suspicions.
You are far from your post, Inquisitor. What brings you here?
Your mind races, weighing different angles of approach, your emotions barely in check. What is this place?
We are in a sanctum holy to Utica. There are others like it in service to the other gods. I come here often to pray for her counsel, and in this space I may be assured that she hears me.
That machine behind you. All these statues, who are they of?
They are monuments to Utica's greatest servants among my people. I hope to join them myself one day, but my work is not yet complete.
Was Iovaro telling the truth?
That woman sought only to destroy the foundations of peace and civility that my people sacrificed everything to build.
That machine behind you, what does it do?
It has many uses, but its purpose is to bring structure to the chaos that surrounds it.
Was the entire Inquisition based on a lie?
The Inquisition was based on the need to cut the flesh from a rotting wound.
You are shaking now, having lost all patience for tact. No more evasions. You have to know everything you believed, everything you have done for the gods. Did you lie to me when you said the gods could end suffering? Theos says nothing. Are there no gods?
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked? Something men can turn to in their darkest moments when their days seem only like bridges from one tragedy to the next. Our gods are all these things.
With Theos' every word, you find yourself losing control of a boiling cauldron of rage and doubt and fear and hopelessness until you can take it no more. Are there no gods?
We are in a sacred place within earshot of the gods themselves. This is not the time. You've been through much these past few months. You will return home and you will rest. When you feel you have recovered, you may rejoin us at the trials. The Inquisition is far from over, and I will have need of you.
Philip, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream. He said, couldn't finish it yourself and couldn't watch me do it, huh? That's okay. Sooner or later, I'll be playing a game that you'll want to watch all the way through. I'm confident of that.
There are many who continue to spread the lies of the apostate. The Inquisition will not end until we have pronounced judgment on all of them.
His eyes linger on you, and there's no mistaking the threat behind it, and your rage shrinks at the image of an iron wheel in your mind, monolithic and caked with the dried blood of thousands. You do not ask your question again. Also, that's a conversation that happened in the past. And now he's here. Them little double dackers don't bother me, bruh.
How did you find it?
I didn't. It was Lady Webb.
Another in a string of acts of petty defiance. For all her knowledge, she always preferred spite over reason.
She loved you.
Then she should have obeyed. I ask one thing of all my followers. She was incapable. A waste of rare talent and intellect.
Her talent and intellect were too great for her to live as your servant.
What of your cohorts, then? They have followed you to their deaths. Is it loyalty that brings them here? Or is it, as my agents suggest, that they have no direction of their own? You worshipped Aethys, did you not?
Your spies are good. What gave me away? The cape?
Yet when your god needed you the most, you chose your country.
Etta frowns, irritated.
We were being invaded. Not by anyone who was acting like a god.
Then I should think your hometown gave you a hero's welcome when you returned.
Well, they made cake. And I think you can expect folks to get jumpy when the gods aren't there to reassure them. Maybe if they weren't all too busy trying to kill each other.
The gods argue over how best to prevent Kith society from destroying itself. These disruptions would not be necessary were mortal instinct not so diseased.
Durant stares at Theos with a beast snarl. Theos watches him calmly.
You built a weapon that delivered exactly as promised.
I served my goddess as you did yours.
Yet the other builders were slain, 11 of a dozen. Why not you? Were you somehow different? Redeemable in your god's sight?
Whatever desire I had to be redeemed in her eyes was weakness, purged by the Watcher's sight.
Or was it merely that your goddess wanted you dead as well, and your delusions of importance prevented you from seeing the obvious?
A whore's beguiling charms, nothing more. But the spell's broke now, Theos. The trial's over. I know friend from foe, and I've come here now to see a foe repaid.
I honestly think it would be hilarious to have Slander play a random, unexpected game like he just shows up one day going on raid. Shadow 11 stream. That would be also funny as hell. I am sure we'll definitely get to that. I've got a few games that I just absolutely want to get through, but then after that, it's going to be wide open. In fact, we're probably going to reach a point where I'll just switch back and forth between what I play. Like, I'll pick a game, and then I'll do a poll and let the channel pick a game. And who knows what the channel might decide they want to see me do. Pentiment is going to be cool to see. I never heard of the game until you mentioned it, and it being from Obsidian means it should be good. I'm very excited. It's definitely getting rave reviews, so I'm looking forward to seeing if it's worth all the hype.
You were able to destroy a god because another god wished it. Without her hand to guide you, you could not strike at a god any more than you could strike the sky. You are impotent, and not just from the pox.
Ooh.
I understand your Duke's bells gave you a mission.
Their orders do not absolve me of my greater responsibility to the safety and well-being of the Republics.
You might want to skip over this one, Theos. Don't want to pick a fight you can't win.
Yet you disobeyed. Something you already have a reputation for. They will know, of course. If it had been for a worthy cause, they might have forgiven you. But I don't see them pursuing animancy after seeing what it's done here. They trusted you, and you disappointed, as you always have. And you will again be disowned.
The parents scold, but the children are safe. Whether animancy research continues in the Republics or not, they will survive. For now, that's enough.
Philip, yeah, we're going to be doing Pentiment next. The new game from Obsidian. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then once we're through with Pentiment, I want to do Pillars of Eternity 2, but we'll probably also do Midnight Suns when that comes out in December. Yeah, once I get through, basically I wanted to do this, Pentiment, Pillars of Eternity 2, Tyranny, and Wasteland 3. Those are like the game, and Baldur's Gate 2. Those are the games that are like foremost in my mind that I really, really want to get through. So once we're through with that slate of games, then we'll probably move into a back and forth voting type of system. Because, hey, sometimes maybe the channel will give me games that I hadn't previously thought of. I saw it was on Game Pass, but didn't pick it up myself. I would definitely recommend trying it out. It's got too many 10 out of 10 reviews for it to be terrible. Will we see Divinity Original Sin on this channel in the future? Me and my friends had a great time co-oping through it. Not Divinity Original Sin, but definitely Divinity Original Sin 2. I was only so-so on DOS 1. It was okay, but it's not something I want to play again. But the second one, absolutely, I want to do that. Isaac, just started last night. Freaking incredible. Hello, by the way. What's going on, Isaac? Glad you could join the stream. Yeah, definitely looking forward to doing it. And agree, Philip, Tyranny is one that I'm definitely looking forward to play. Absolutely.
In any case, I wouldn't be so smug about my fate, Theos. I imagine Woodica responds to disappointment much more severely than even my dukes.
State your name and purpose, young acolyte.
My name belonged to the gods and my hand to their service. No more.
You serve none but yourself. Without contact with your order, you can have no higher purpose. Only the base concerns of the flesh. You have cast yourself from our ranks.
And I should have done it years before. I'd rather live in uncertainty than servitude.
And that uncertainty would lead you where it leads everyone. To doubt, to emptiness, to the many cruelties inspired by disbelief. You will have to forgive your Grandmaster for remaining skeptical of his initiate's choices. You are here because you are lost. The gods cannot reach everyone, I'm afraid. May you fare better in your next lives.
He directs his gaze at you. Oh, Toxic, you meant DOS 2? Then yeah, we're on the same page. I absolutely plan to play DOS 2. But much to Abandonment's dismay, my favorite origin story is actually of the Red Prince. Even though Fane much more directly intertwines with the overall main story, I just love the Red Prince's storyline and him trying to find his true love, all of that stuff. You know, y'all already know I love romance in video games. So everything going on in his quest, it really, really appeals to me. His sarcastic, pompous demeanor is also hilarious to me. So I'm probably going to play as the Red Prince. But if I didn't, I would definitely go as Fane. Accidentally unequipping his hood. Ooh, not a good idea. Andreas is pretty interesting. He's the MC. The choices you make at the beginning actually matter, unlike some games. Nice. I also love how when they are writing, they sometimes make errors and then erase and fix them. Interesting. Okay. Look forward to seeing it.
I gather you have had your soul awakened. Why else would you shadow my footsteps like some stray mongrel? You think I have something to offer you, but our business was concluded long ago.
What do you know of our business?
You think your abilities only flow in one direction. That isn't how it works, I'm afraid. Not for me. For all that you saw of my soul in the sanitarium, I saw as much of yours.
I live my life by the lies you told. You owe me the truth.
I answered your questions once. That your soul is not fit to accept the answers is of little concern to me. I lied to no one. Not to you, not to anyone. The gods are real. They are everything we need them to be, and the world is better for it.
You denied a generation its place in the world.
The heart of this country has skipped a beat. Nothing more. I have done far worse. I plunged the peaceful kingdom of Telosus into civil war. I slew the monarch of Desantio, whose people never knew hardship under his rule, and replaced him with a cruel despot who brought them to ruin. When plague arrived at the great city of Arborensis, I saw to it that the cure did not. They piled their dead outside the city in heaps that rose above their walls.
This is supposed to diminish the damage you've done here?
It is to show the proper perspective. There was a time, back when your soul was still a shapeless mist, when the world believed only in false gods. Thousands of them. Gods that told them to take slaves. Gods that told them to make war upon their neighbors and devour the slain. Gods that told them to burn their children alive and cover themselves in the ashes as a sign of their faith. But all that changed when they learned of the true gods. Our gods. All those misshapen, bestial instincts melted beneath the radiance of our God's majesty. You could see it in their eyes. That dull emptiness replaced with the glimmer of a kindled spark.
Teaching them there were no gods would have achieved the same purpose.
And replaced it with one far worse. Have you imagined this existence? The one the apostate would have created. We are not all so virtuous as she. Without our gods, the most wicked, the most tyrannical, they would take that power for themselves. But more than that, it would be a hollow existence. All mysteries forever unanswered. All purposes constructed from meaninglessness. No endings to bring closure. Only a wheel, turning without mercy, grinding our spirits to dust.
Your way comes at too great a cost.
It is the least of all possible costs. Are you so dense as to think a faithless world would not be ridden with calamity?
Yeah, they're all cosplaying as Kratos. That's awesome.
All I have seen, the millennia of experience. I will not be dissuaded from this course. This is the only way.
At least admit it. Admit to me that the gods are not true gods. I need to hear it from you.
You have not thought this through. There is no leaving this place for you. I allowed it once, but you have made it all too clear what a mistake my mercy was. With your soul and thousands of others, I will see this world purged of its suffering. Hear me, Woodica. Your servant calls for aid.
Oh. I guess that ends the convo, huh?
Octen!
Well, that's not cool. Oh, maybe we should have rested first now that I think about it. But oh well. We're here. Keep going. And there we are. Let's go ahead and get you frozen up. Let's also go ahead and get one of these crushing rays on you, shall we? Come all the way. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice and obliterated. At your feet rests the body of Theos, hollow, the dense wrinkles shaped by the silent shouldering of an eternal burden, now smoothed across his color-drained face. His soul remains still for the moment, defenseless, his energy expended in defeat. It lies sprawled across his body like a death shroud.
That's the servant down, and the mistress still to go. A good start, worthy of being built upon.
Thousands of souls he has tortured. Would that he could live those sufferings 1,000 times himself.
In his own way, Theos must have truly believed he was caring for the people of Aeora, protecting them from themselves. A shame his soul won't have a chance to reflect on his errors before it enters the wheel.
Now that I think about it, you could probably do a really good young Kratos impression. Oh, Kratos' voice is too gravelly to mimic, I feel like. I don't know. I've never tried it. That's an interesting thought. Who knows? I might end up playing as Kratos in one of my playthroughs that I stream.
He was good at serving his god, I give him that. He should have picked a better one.
He spent his lives, more than any of us will ever know. For what? Binding the world to a lie. Could a man like that ever be redeemed?
Explore Theos' soul. With a deep breath, you plunge into Theos' soul, and where in Brackenbury it had been a maze of narrow corridors and dead ends, now it is expansive and borderless, its walls crumbling into heaps like the ruins of Ingwith as you pass through them. You travel for what seems like ages, rushing to a known destination, a memory you glimpsed once before. At last you see it, no more than a pinprick of light at the end of a long tunnel, expanding slowly at first, then quickly as you near. You come out in the room you are standing in now, but it is new and pristine and filled with people, thousands of them, all turned towards the great Adra pillar and the machine that encases it. Theos stands at the machine, and you are one with him now. You look out the crowd, a face of shriveled old men and cherub-cheeked little girls, and mothers bouncing infants to quiet them, and fathers clasping their children's restless hands, and watching you with somber acceptance. A woman with tears in her eyes gives you a small nod. You turn back toward the machine, your breaths constricted beneath the weight of unwanted knowledge, preparing yourself to set out alone on a journey without end. You close your eyes and open them again to find the machine still in front of you, beckoning. You take your place in front of it and place your hands upon a large mechanical disc at the base of the great crystal column and speak a single word. Giant rings creak to life, building speed, setting arrays of carved draconic mouths aglow and sending tremors through the platform beneath you. Wolf, what's going on, man? How are you, brother? I don't think I've been able to see your stream for a couple of weeks now. Hope you've been doing well. Yeah, today should be the end of my Pillars of Eternity stream. So actually, we're going to go right, ironically, into another Obsidian game. Pentiment came out this week. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and stream that. I think it's only supposed to be like a 20-hour game. So it shouldn't take me that long to get into it. And then once I finish with that, we're going to do Pillars of Eternity 2. Ironically, I was talking with some of the other people on the channel about what we should stream after that, and somebody on here mentioned DOS 2, which made me immediately think of your DOS 2 playthrough. I don't think I'm going to do a Tactician DOS 2 playthrough, but I definitely love to stream the game on the channel. The entire room shakes now with the force of the accelerating machine, all sound drowned out by its deep, deafening thrum. Brilliant tendrils of light arc outward from the pillar in all directions, and you look over your shoulder to see them engulfing the crowd, burning them brightly like hot iron. One by one, the tendrils disappear, leaving ashen effigies where people once stood, many of them disintegrating into gray heaps under the stress of the tremors. Yeah, cool. It's just that one. Looks unique. I agree, it does look unique. By the way, we had a convo about Midnight Suns. I actually reached out to Christopher Odd and got the Twitter handle of the person who's managing those review keys. And there's actually a website that you're supposed to apply through if you want one. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll send you a DM with that same Twitter handle that's got the link where you're supposed to go. I don't know if you already ended up getting your own key. You look above to the Adra pillar, and a glowing spherical mass has begun to coalesce atop the column where the arcs converge. It grows and pulses, translucent and bulbous like some immense chrysalis, suspended in slow rotation, as though it were being spun from the arcs of light. When the last arc disappears, the spectral mass hangs a moment, no longer rotating, so bright you must shield your eyes with an outstretched hand, and it seems to you as though it is looking at you. You bow your head in acknowledgement and look back up to see it melt into the pillar like warm candle wax. The pillar flares with a flash of light, bright as the sun itself, then fades to darkness. The machine slows down to an abrupt halt, and when the last echo of its grinding cogs is past, the chamber is still, and you are alone. From all sides, reality begins to bleed in through the memory, and you find yourself in your own skin once more, looking down at Theos' lifeless body. You sense a listlessness into Theos' soul, an overwhelming fatigue that hinders its immediate escape and makes it vulnerable to manipulation. You feel as though your victory has given you some kind of hold over it, and you are able to do with it as you please. I can't freaking wait to play Midnight Suns. Me too. I'm really hoping that I enjoy it. Oh, Midnight Suns, that's the Marvel game. Yeah, the Marvel game is from Firaxis, I believe, the same people who made XCOM. So I never played XCOM, but I keep hearing about it, so I'm really interested in it. Is Midnight Suns the game? Yep, it's the one with the card system for combat. Return to the cycle. You remember this, Theos. Remember that no man can hide the truth forever, and all you've done was done. If your memory shall be your penance, tear his soul apart, banish his soul to breath. Amen. You mean no forgiveness for your deed. You shall escape judgment no longer. Destroy all memories contained within. Your memory makes you a slave to your own past. Perhaps it can be Destroy all memories contained within. Your memory makes you a slave to your own past. Perhaps it can't be undone, but it can be forgotten. It shall trouble neither of us any longer.
No! You cannot allow this. He will have no reminders. He will not remember the message we wrote on his fragmented bones and carved into his flesh. The lesson we burned into his soul.
You are kinder to that man than I would have been.
A questionable act. Without his memories, there will be nothing of Theos left to appreciate your mercy.
You return to the landscape of Theos' memory, to the vast terrain of deceptions and crippling despair, and you can feel your agency in this world now, an ability to reshape to the whims of your dominant will. You focus on a vision of pure emptiness, and your will becomes a swirling vortex around you, sweeping through the landscape and bearing away moments and lifetimes like some apocalyptic bivouac that would tear away the essence of the planet itself. The storm builds until the very crust of the world peels from the fabric of the soul that anchored it, and it is borne off into the sky until it is too distant to observe. The last thing you see is a white void, boundless in all directions, unfettered by the shackles of experience and doubt. I've been addicted to Marvel Snap, and it's made me go crazy watching and catching up on all these characters' stories. Made me realize how much I love Marvel and superhero media. That's what why I'm looking forward to it so much. I love those Marvel stories, and I'm really hoping they dig into the lore and the world building. You should play XCOM. I keep hearing about XCOM. I'm really hoping that sometime next year I'll have the opportunity to play it. Honestly, once we can vote on games, you play XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. Has to be up there. Okay, I'll make sure when we put up a poll, that'll be one of the games. Have a good night. Past my bedtime. Yep, take care, Wolf. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing all right. In the stillness that follows, a single word echoes through your mind. A word you spoke when you were one with Theos in an ancient memory. You realize it is the word that activates the machine. Ooh. I can talk to all my party members.
Theos, he had hold of your soul from a long time back, seems like. You get what you needed from him?
I got justice.
Not many can say that these days. Not in this country where they think the gods have abandoned them. You'll be feeling better soon then. Good. That's real good. You got it figured out what you're going to do about all that?
So you mentioned XCOM 2. What about XCOM 1? Is that worth playing? Make sure it's 1 vote per person. Absolutely. And what you gonna do about all that? Yeah, sure.
There are a lot of people out there thinking they've been abandoned by their gods. There's not much that'll put the fear in you more than that. You can take my word for it. If it was in my power, and I know it's not, but if it was, I'd send every last one of those souls right back where they were supposed to go in the first place. So folks could get back to believing what they used to. And after what you've been through, though, I'm sure you got your own ideas. Better make it good.
He winks.
Theos may be gone, but his crimes, the wounds he has inflicted, remain. And yet, if we would free ourselves from his legacy, you must first free the souls he has trapped. His work cannot be undone. Chaining these souls to broken lives will only prolong it.
You're right.
It is not the easy choice, Watcher. But much ill comes from forcing the world into a shape that does not fit it. We must allow for the mercies of the cycle to heal the lost, and live with our wounds for a time.
Farewell. I should be able to romance you, darling. I'm so sorry.
The end of the road greets us at last. You fared well, Watcher. Better than any Watcher has right to. Seems you were a field in need of a flame's cleansing. Would that my own trial had produced such an outcome. I had figured myself for the field all this time. But you were the field, and I the darkness. A lesson neither of durance nor of Margarin. But with that trial's end, a new one begins. A god's trial. And I will stand in judgment without mercy.
So XCOM 1, known as Enemy Unknown, is also very good, but XCOM 2, in my opinion, is superior. XCOM 1 is good, but 2 is such an evolution on 1 that it's not entirely worth it to play unless you really love XCOM. Interesting. So, story-wise, is there any issues with just diving directly into 2?
So much for Theos, then.
The membranes of Palagina's golden eyes sweep out and retract as she gazes into the great machine.
Now you have a chance to set things right, back to the proper order of things. It will take the Deerwood generations to recover, but at least these souls will find their way back to the wheel, as it should be.
Astounding. I always knew the Leaden Key stood for something big, but I didn't quite realize what I'd gotten myself into. And now, you're in the middle of something even bigger. The decision that will affect millions. But even if you send the souls somewhere specific now, who knows what the next turn of the wheel will make of them? We can't really control what happens to them. Nor should we try. I had to see the monster Theos had become to realize that.
Maybe so.
It's your decision, of course. And whatever you decide, I'm glad our paths crossed in Gilded Vale.
Oh, so is in XCOM, are you basically fighting against aliens, or are you fighting against other humans? Come on. Oh, I won't miss having to wait for this save screen. True, and there we go. All right. I think that was the last fight, correct? As you approach the machine, the path underfoot suddenly changes to a cobbled road. If you hadn't experienced visions like this already in Tir Ivran, you'd be tempted to believe that the machine had sucked you into it and deposited you in the middle of nowhere. The sun blazes overhead, and the rolling meadows and thick forest on either side of the road could be anywhere in the deer wood. A shrill cackle turns your head. Standing next to you is a malnourished man clad in a threadbare loincloth and manacles. His entire body is stripped with lash marks, and there are scarred pits where his nose and ears should be. He stinks of stale sweat and unwashed filth. You notice someone wandering down the road, but the figure's back is to you. The scarred slave has your attention for now.
You know something of quiet servitude, Watcher. Groveling and simpering before the gods whose aid you need, so that when they finally raise you to a place of power, you can seize what you desire. You have labored at the pleasure of others. That shriveled hag in Hadrat House, those pompous deer wooden zealots, the wretched tribesmen playing out their fantasies of grandeur. And then you cowered and knelt before the gods themselves, begging one paltry favor, and receiving riddles and visions in response.
Let them know, Boss Page. You went off the deep end for a minute there. Okay, cool. Yeah. Definitely. Let's go ahead and get around to XCOM sometime next year.
And now the gods give you orders and commands, even while you set out to fix what they cannot. Yet what have they offered you?
They offered us the means to stop Wodoka and Theos. That's enough for me. A suspicious grimace crosses Allah's face. I get the feeling this is his way of giving you new orders on behalf of his own master. Be careful, Slandered. Given the breadth of the iron manacle, it's amazing that he can raise his bone-thin arm, but he does, and he points to the person walking the other way along the road.
The exiled queen is not an ungrateful patron.
You get a better look at the lone figure and realize that she's wearing robes, tattered and singed, but fine nonetheless. On her head is a silhouette of a broken crown. She continues walking, her pace slow but determined.
Finish the work Theos began. Strengthen Woodica with these souls and allow her to become the most powerful of all the gods, with you as her favored.
I've been working against Wodoka this whole time. Why would she thank me now after I've defeated her most loyal servant? The ragged hole in Skane's face wrinkles with disgust. Loyal and weak, Theos proved his inadequacy when he failed to anticipate you. A plan exposed is worse than none at all. Ain't that about a bitch? He's been serving these people for centuries. Murdered millions on their behalf. He screws up once. You're weak. Man. But you have proven resourceful, equal to the schemes of gods. Wodoka has a long memory, Watcher, for both friends and foes, and she keeps her oaths. What do you mean by her favored? the recipient of Wodoka's blessings. She has always had a place for mortals of particular merit. If you help her now, she will become the most powerful of all the gods, and you will be the one who made her so. Think of the lifetimes of rewards you would reap. The only reward I wish is the joy of pulling bloody shards of her broken crown from my staff when I have finished with her trial. Oh, man. Now that you're near the end, what's your rating on it? I mean, I'm pretty high on Pillars of Eternity. I've enjoyed it a lot. It definitely has some strong weaknesses. And so I will release a review of this game and we'll talk through all of it. But overall, I've really enjoyed the experience. I feel like anybody who loves CRPGs, loves great stories, should absolutely play this game, in my personal opinion. My first playthrough, I did side with Wodoka for the lulz. I'm not doing that this time, but as I'm listening to this conversation, it's making me think, I wonder if any of this counts in Pillars of Eternity 2, because I know you get a lot of conversations with Wodoka, and so I wonder if she treats you differently if you took this option. Yeah, the guys don't make a good choice for serving them at all. That's how dictators always be. Absolutely. Scan turns his flinty eyes on Durance. So says your companion who's been abandoned by his own god. Do you really trust her to make alliances for you? Helping Wodoka would mean that the secrets of the gods stay hidden. He rubs his hands together, his black eyes gleaming. Safely hidden, yes, from the violent overlords who would cease to fear punishments in the next life, from the heavy-handed masters who would answer to no one. The world needs some schemes. Or are the souls of Kith so pure that you would snap the tenuous threads that bind society? Alaf snarls, and Theos makes a better overlord. This one is the god of slaves. What would he have left if the world were unchained from his mistress's lies? Scan takes a bundle at his feet and hefts the burden onto his back. I've explained the alternative, Watcher. Continue as a pawn of the gods, or a partner of one. At the other end of the road, the figure stops. She turns her head just enough to look over her shoulder. Her face is mostly hidden, but one merciless eye peers at you from a cheek of rippled, scorched flesh. I won't help you.
You say that now, but when you're standing in front of the machine, considering the lifetimes and the powers that await you, we'll see what you do.
He continues down the road, and when the sun suddenly drops below the horizon, it plunges you into momentary darkness. You come to your senses in front of the machine. Stefan, what's going on, man? How are you? Glad you're able to make the stream. Yeah, I'll say Pillars 1 had a better story, but Deadfire had massively improved gameplay. I absolutely agree with that. Definitely. All these evils we've seen, going all the way back to the Saints' War, that was all Wodoka. Imagine if she was stronger on top of it all. Yep. Probably want to avoid that. All right. The machine resonates with the energy of thousands of souls. Standing near it makes your head spin. With your companions bearing witness, you step up to the place where Theos once stood before his people long ago. The great machine lies in front of you, idle, ready. You have seen this machine and others like it in operation. You understand how it works. It is a device for directing souls. As a watcher, it would be a simple matter to influence that direction. Though as big as the machine is, it may be the last thing you ever do. Speak the command to activate the machine. There's a shrieking of stone grinding against stone as old cogs loosen and begin to turn. You have only moments before the souls will be sent into the Adra vein. This will be your only chance at redirecting them. Send the souls back into the reincarnation cycle. Return the souls to the bodies. Entropically disintegrate the souls. Distribute the essence to existing souls. Allow the souls to pass through the vein to Wodoka. Disperse the souls to an unknown location. We will send the souls back into the reincarnation cycle, as Barath intended. You close your eyes and expand your perception outward, taking in the immense totality of the tens of thousands of souls orbiting the chamber. Your grasp on the souls is tenuous. You find yourself fighting to keep them all within your influence, and you can feel them slipping away from you as the machine gains speed. A brief moment comes when it feels as though you hold all of them at once, and their force is so great it feels as though they will tear you apart. In that moment, you dedicate your entire being to bending their orbit, channeling their flow in a new direction. And so it ends.
At your command, the ancient device became your instrument, spinning to life with deafening resonance and gathering up the swirling essence like thread on a great spindle. There, in the pale pulsing glow of the machine that set you on this path long ago, you summoned all your strength, focusing on your objective and blocking out all else. With a single concussive blast that rocked the chamber and sent you tumbling to the ground, you freed the souls from their stasis. Exhausted, your consciousness slipping away, your last sight was of the machine, dark and dormant. Then your eyes closed, and sleep welcomed you at long last.
Only some of them, Michael.
After coming to and searching for
Glad you're
some
able to join the
you
stream.
discovered the route Theos used to enter Sun in Shadow, and embarked on a long and arduous ascent back to the surface. You emerged in Terra Evron after days of tunneling through the rubble Theos had left behind, and when you stepped into the daylight, you were faced with a different Deerwood than the one you had left. At your direction, the lost souls of the Hollowborn were funneled back into the churn of Bareth's wheel to find their way into new vessels and partake in the life they had been denied during Widewind's legacy. Though parents of Hollowborn would remain just that, the end of Widewind's legacy would bring about a spate of new, healthy births, with many of the infants bearing souls once meant for Hollowborn children. The natural cycle of life and death had been restored to Deerwood, and with it came a renewed faith in the providence of the gods. Lord Radric's zeal had brought him back to life once, but it would not do so again. Radric's destruction at your hands spelled the end of his suffocating rule over Gilded Vale and the surrounding area. In his absence, the village prospered, becoming a popular destination for new settlers anxious to leave Defiance Bay after the riots. Without a nearby ruler, it also grew more wild, with many settlers moving on as soon as they'd arrived, turned off by lawlessness that was excessive even by Deerwooden standards. Nevertheless, despite the challenges of living there,
is there a way to give Gilded Vale a ruler
and would continue to survive for the foreseeable future.
that isn't undead Lord
Following the
Radric?
assassinations of Duke Avar Wolfgren and Lady Webb, Defiance Bay was thrown into political upheaval. In the ensuing weeks, the streets had become the domain of looters and blackguards. Few dared to step outside their own doors alone or unarmed. But once the dozens had regrouped in the wake of the riots, they quickly put an end to the criminal activity. They patrolled the streets in droves and administered their brand of law on any perceived offenders. This was not the erratic justice of the mob, however. The dozens had taken to heart the strengths of their adversaries, the Knights of the Crucible, and emerged as a far more organized, disciplined force. With the waning strength of the other Defiance Bay powers, the leadership of the dozens took the opportunity to establish its own group as the dominant peacekeeping force in the city.
Keep the mortal Radric.
The dozens would soon find themselves overwhelmed by the problems of a leaderless metropolis. But they found an uneasy new partner in the surviving forces of the Crucible Knights, who understood the city's infrastructure and were able to keep the worst of its problems under control. Though the machine atop Ter Noaneth had been disabled, it had not seen its last use. Heritage Hill was rebuilt, and no sooner had the first families moved in to resettle the district than members of the Leaden Key, acting under standing orders from their Grand Master, climbed the tower and reactivated the machine. The initiates slew a handful of the new settlers under cover of night and watched as history
I agree,
repeated
Toxic.
itself. The victims reanimated.
And seeing this, I feel like I
Defiance
messed up. I should have blew this damn machine
After
up.
this second incident, the district would remain abandoned.
The dominoes are a legitimate choice. I actually wanted to side with the Crucible Knights, to be honest with you.
Catastrophic rioting in the streets of Defiance Bay, and few Animancers survived the first day. Many Deerwoodens took the end of Widewind's legacy as a sign, both that the gods did not approve of animancy, and that the purging of Animancers in Defiance Bay had been enough to satisfy them. In time, their rage would subside,
and a number of surviving animancers remained in and around Defiance Bay, often taking to the wilds to practice their science without repercussions. The destruction of the Eyeless and the permanent loss of Abidon's memory emboldened Andra. She considered the knowledge that Kith might have found, both of the origin of the gods and her part in concealing it, and vowed that such a calamity must never come to pass. She churned up a fury in her seas. Underwater mountains rose and fell, and the seabed was swallowed and spat out again by the great maws that divide the continents of Kith. Only a fraction of this chaos reached land, but it was enough to swell rivers and spread earthquakes throughout the Deerwood and Air Glanfath. Coastal towns suffered so that few noticed the damage that had been done to Engwithan ruins, from Thane Bog to Twin Elms.
Meanwhile, with the Eyeless defeated, the people of Stalwart counted
Thus, they sealed off the White Forge and abandoned their pursuit of Durgan's steel. Durgan's battery became a trading post once more, and Stalwart thrived in its shadow. Stalwart's revival brought trappers, traders, and artisans from all over the Deerwood, and from Red Ceres too.
Yeah, I figured they're the most moderate option. That's why I wanted to go with them.
As Deerwoodans
Here's
and
what
Red
it is.
Cerans alike left old
I don't think it
quarrels
matters in
behind.
part 2.
The Flames that Whisper clan found a cautious peace with Stalwart, particularly once the villagers heard of the aid the ogres had offered against the Eyeless. The clan moved back into the Russet Wood, and as Stalwart grew in prestige, the villagers formed a tighter alliance with their ogre neighbors. Within a generation, ogre traders visited Stalwart, and village hunters were welcome in the Russet Wood. Harmka's death had brought the Devil of Carrick little satisfaction. In time, her taste for vengeance soured. What replaced it was a hunger to feel something, anything, new. Summer had thinned the snowpack twice over.
I should have been able to romance you, darling. I'm so sorry. I would have given you
Turned her back
purpose.
on the hopes of animancy and civilization, and walked east. She pushed through the mountains, past Raid Ceres, and into the broad plains of Ishamiddle. She had forgotten what it was like to simply journey, no goal or destination in mind. Though she felt nothing more than the steady thump of her feet on the road, the endless horizons and grassy meadows were new to her. She measured her time in the gradual rusting of her body, and was satisfied. Her movements slowed, but so did the world around her. Waist-high grasses undulated and tacked in the wind, as gradual as the tides. Sparrows and blackjays made steady pilgrimages across the sky, each flap of their wings a solemn salute. She could hardly move when she found something she had never seen before, the ocean. With the last of her strength, she pulled herself beneath the water, content at last to feel the movement of currents and the constant caress of the waves.
Crap.
Zawa came to believe
I
that
chose the
Dakan
wrong
had
ending for
survived
her.
through him.
I wanted the one where
He
she got
returned to
torn apart.
Isharkal, where he united a number of small, vulnerable tribes under the beliefs of his people. He called them Takanakin, kin of Takan, and under his tutelage, they became strong enough to resist would-be conquerors. Zawa taught his secrets not to one chosen person, but to all, that the line of knowledge might never be broken. Once Maneha had made peace with her memory, she decided the time had come to face her more recent past. For the first time in decades, she returned home to Rawatai, and she found that it had changed.
Yeah, I
as
really
much as
wanted
she
her to be a
had.
companion.
New
in
districts
part
had
2.
sprung up along the coast, while others withered into crumbling husks. And
But
the
you only
streets
get her
had changed their
breastplate if she
course
gets torn
as surely
apart.
as
The one
rivers.
where she goes under the water, you don't get her
Parents wept
breastplate.
with joy at her return. They still ran the old spice shop, and in its many aromas and flavors, she found memories of the places she'd traveled and the people she'd known. She told her story, bottle by bottle, and began to build a life on the soil she knew best. The fortress of Cadnua emerged as a bastion of security in the midst of an untamed land, becoming the envy of every thane and earl in Deerwood.
You're damn right.
Legend grew over time of its impregnability, and stories of formidable invaders easily scattered by the keep's defenses became popular around the hearths of Deerwoodinians. Likewise, it also became a beacon to travelers, merchants, and visiting dignitaries alike. Reputed as the finest fortress in all Deerwood, people would journey from near and distant lands alike to experience its fabled hospitality and grandeur. After the death of the Master below, a strange quiet fell over the endless paths of Odd-Nua. The attacks on the fortress above ceased, Odd-Nua's silent titan the closest remaining thing to a master in its musty, forgotten passages. Pallegina had gone against the Duke Spell's orders by inventing a new trade arrangement with the Anamenfath to accommodate the recovering Deerwooden market. With the Deerwood's people still weakened by Weidman's legacy, the Valian republics easily pushed their would-be competitors out of the market. For her outrageous insubordination and audacity, Pallegina was banished from the republics.
You can get a better
She
ending
traveled
for
north
her
to the eastern
if you
reach,
use the souls to
avoiding
strengthen
Valian ports
everyone.
and entering the
Then
ranks
they
of the
forgive her
common
for this
wayfarers.
and let her
Despite
move
bravery
forward.
and
It is
dedication
what
to
it
those
is.
of her care, her strange appearance made her feel like an outsider wherever she went. Haravius took his leave of the party and, after his first bath in years, returned to his nomadic lifestyle.
Kingmaker is amazing. In some ways, it's better than Wrath of the Righteous, but in other ways, it's worse. It's harder, and it's really easy to screw up your playthrough. If that doesn't bother you, I absolutely recommend giving it a whirl.
During his travels, he penned numerous journals and sketches detailing his travels through frozen tundra, searing desert, and tropical forests. Wherever he went, Haravius left behind stories of the Autumn Druid, a temperamental, one-eyed wise man of the forest, known to bring food to lost travelers and unusual advice.
Oh, you did the dragon body swap? That's a
chose not to
that's a
return
punk
home
out.
to
Come
get
on
married.
now.
Through a number of quiet inquiries, he soon found his way into the underground organization of Aethasians known as the Night Market.
I never get the mayor ending with him.
In learning that the gods had
I
been
wonder what
Adair found his faith in Aethus
what
renewed,
dialogue options
and
you're
that his
supposed to
god
pick.
was neither alive nor truly a god had become irrelevant. He rose quickly through the ranks of the Night Market for his optimism and for his bold leadership. His ultimate goal, to make the Deerwood a place that would welcome followers of the Shining God once again. When the dust settled in Sun and Shadow, Aloth looked upon the remains of Theos Ixarchanon, his former master. He saw where the Grandmaster had gone wrong, and what would be required to undo the harm Theos had wrought. With a flick of his wrist, he burned Theos's robe, headdress, and every other symbol of the man's power. Never again, he vowed, should Kith live in fear and blind obedience to an authority they did not understand. Armed with the knowledge and courage he had gained on his journeys with the Watcher, he set out on the long and lonely task of dismantling the Leaden Key. With both their aims fulfilled, Kanarua bid the Watcher farewell and sailed back to his beloved Rawatai. There, he reported on his findings to the Lore College. Kana spoke of the Engwithan people, describing both their vile experiments and their inspiring accomplishments. He spoke too of the destruction of the tablet by the Leaden Key, and the group's efforts to erase the Engwithan legacy from the world. Both inspiration and cautionary tales, he said, could be found in the world beyond Rawatai's borders. Kana urged his people to continue to pursue knowledge abroad, so that the lessons found there might benefit Tekoa.
Sounds like a good mix of
Kana's
abandonment.
inability to prove his theory of Engwithan influence diminished his academic standing, but his passion drew much interest from those less concerned with degrees. Kana swiftly became an influential figure in the move toward a more collaborative approach to expansion on the northern continent. In his personal life, he came to enjoy the reputation of an affable eccentric, willing to share grand and impossible secrets, along with a drink and a song. With Theos defeated and the souls released from Sun and Shadow, healthy children were born once again in the Deerwood. The grieving mother sought a place where she might do penance for the birthing bell. She returned to Deerford, where, to the astonishment of the villagers, she delivered the first healthy child in over a decade. She remained there, and with each new birth, she saw a measure of hope restored to the Deerwood, and a measure of grace for her own troubled past.
I should have been able to romance you.
Durance used Magrin's strength only until Theos had been cast from the world, and then swore off her influence entirely. Regret came to weigh heavily on his mind, and a man who had never previously lacked for words or opinions came to embrace silence and contemplation. He continued to wander, penniless and destitute, searching now not for the reason for his goddess's silence, but for a mechanism for revenge. The charred robes he continued to wear as a reminder that he had been burned by his goddess, and not just by the flames of the Godhammer. After 5 years of searching for Persoc, Sagani's 4-month journey home felt longer still. The Deerwood, Air Glonfoth, the Valian Republics became places on a map, endless expanses of green between her and Nasitok. Her homecoming was celebrated by all of Masuk, yet it was the reunion with Kalu and their children that truly brought her joy. She relinquished her role in the long hunts, and ever after, she and Itumak spent their days working in the village and their nights at her hearth. She watched her own children and their children grow and thrive. When she finally passed, she lay surrounded by the affection and tears of 5 generations.
So she died in this game.
The death of Theos brought an end to your waking visions, and a silence to the whispers of the past. In their absence, you were able to sleep. The questions of a distant lifetime ceased to trouble your soul. All that remained was what to make of the answer. But at the moment, there was little to be done, and the matter would have to wait. A long journey loomed ahead.
That is a real ending. I think Toxic, you were the one who said it, that you love it when CRPGs use the slides. I do too. I love it when they take the time to really, really give you a comprehensive ending that shows the results of all the vast amount of decisions that you've made. And that ending absolutely did that. Very, very happy with the way they came out. Like, there are some decisions I wish I hadn't made, which I think I get to make up for in Pillars of Eternity 2. I think when they bring over your save, they let you customize it a little bit. So you could change some things that maybe you didn't want to leave in there. But on the whole, very, very happy with the way things turned out. And yeah, that was well, as I knew it would be. That was well worth going through. So I really appreciate everybody who stayed on this journey, who was showing up, watching the stream, supporting it. Hope you all enjoyed it as well. We are going to go, what time is it, 12:10? I got a good hour of it. Yeah, we're going to go right into Pentiment. We're going to head right into Pentiment. So give me just a second to load that up. Actually, you know what? Let me also change this. Let me change the thumbnail for this live stream so we don't have the issue we had last time where people are like, why aren't you doing this? Change Pentiment 1. Here we go. Save that. Excellent. Thumbs. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the $10. Glad you enjoyed the playthrough. Love the ending. Yeah, me too. I think it was absolutely fantastic. Glad you agree, man. Glad you agree. Absolutely. Yeah, like Dragon Age 2. Yep. But all the Dragon Age, really, they had good, thorough endings that tried to take into account all of your different decisions. Very amazing game. Can't wait to see Pentiment now. Yep, me too, Toxic. I keep hearing about this, so I'm really, really looking forward to it. If we could just get this loaded up. Give me just a second, please. It's taking a wee bit, but it's getting there. And here we go. Now, game capture. Pillars of Eternity. And let's see. I see the desktop audio. There we go. Pillars was actually my first true CRPG, and it was amazing. That's awesome, Pentiment. Pillars is a good way to start. Thanks, Philip. Appreciate it. All right. Keep hearing about this. New game, new game. Easy read fonts. The game uses stylized fonts and writing effects that may be difficult for some readers. The easy read fonts option improves legibility by disabling some fonts and writing effects. Probably should go ahead and do that for you guys, right? To make sure that it's easier to read for you. Pentiment automatically saves your progress as you play the game. Got it. What am I doing? Oh, snap. I guess I'm erasing everything. Yeah, I like the music so far. I agree. Xbox Game Studios presents an Obsidian Entertainment production. Pentiment. I got you, Boss Pays. Don't worry. Hannah Kennedy on the art, and the art looks quite good. Dang, was hoping you keep the original. The original fonts? There's too many people who would probably have an issue with it, who wouldn't be able to follow along. Plus, there's probably an option in the game that allows me to switch it back. So we'll see. We might play around with it. And then if people say it makes it hard for them to read, we can always switch it back. Boom, boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. But it's better for the audience to be able to read it better. Right. That's my thinking exactly. Narrative director, Joel Sawyer. You know it. Directed by Josh Shore. Oh, wow. A game about me trying to write every goddamn story I've tried in the last 5 years. Holy Roman Empire, April 1518. An artist's mind. And the abbot said to me, Andreas, I need you to finish this commission, but then keep your conversations with brother. I don't want you distracting the sisters in the library. Up to the devil's work again, are you? Don't encourage him. Devotion to one's work can yield pleasures of the mind superlative to those of the body. Either you need to spend time with more exciting lovers, or I need to learn how to work the Socrates way. Oh, no mouse. Interesting. How did you reply to the abbot, Andreas? I said it's not my fault God made me handsome. You're insufferable. Alas, this Christian faith views desire less favorably than I did in my time. Oh? Perhaps this longing for you will instill in them a greater appreciation for beauty. Right. Try telling that to the abbot next time, Andreas. Despite the abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will have finished both the abbot's work as well as your masterpiece. And then you will return to Nuremberg, where marriage or your new life as a master awaits you. Holy Roman Empire. I'm intrigued as a enjoyer of culture and antiquity. This is definitely different from me, so I'm interested. Andreas, you're a potato. Why are you talking to me? Yes, marriage to someone he has never met. Hardly ideal. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. Oh, Jesus. Then you should definitely get married. Is she pretty at least? The small portraits they sent were lovely, but we artists can be flatterers. It's growing late. The wheel of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, your majesty. Will you visit us again soon? Hopefully, but it's out of my control, your majesty. As are many things. Trust in Providence. Grobian, please see Andreas safely home. Of course, your majesty. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, your majesty. Pay no mind to the other fools, Andreas. I never do. I'm definitely a fan of the art style thus far. Ow! At least I would if they stopped stepping on my feet. Watch where you're going. They're fools, Andreas. No point in trying to teach them anything. I know old John wants you to endure the abbot shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. Don't let him run you ragged, boy. It will be fine. I don't want to cause any trouble. That's no way to think about it. You need to stand up for yourself. Now that's a fate worse than death. You either get married or become philosophers. There are no good options here. Guy, would you please stop? Ooh. I give up. Take me home, Grobian. As you wish, Andreas. Andreas has some serious cheekbones. Yeah. That's true. Good morning, Ursula. The child's name is Ursula? That's interesting. Good, Anto. Time to get up. Okay. 1. The Baron, April 1518. Okay. I still don't see a mouse. Oh, wait, so it says J for quest. Another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start working at the scriptorium. Argo, what's going on? Good to see you, man. I got no complaints. We actually literally just finished Pillars of Eternity. So that playthrough is officially done, and now we're heading into Pentiment. I agree, Michael. It's kind of hot. You got a thing for fully formed cheekbones, Bandit? I really should clean this up. The Picatrix, Key of Solomon, the Heptameron, Prior Finrek keeps giving me all these books to read. I could go to bed. That's all over here, right? Okay. Under peep. Nothing over here. Good morning, Andreas. Did you sleep well? Quite well, actually. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the Abbey, so I packed you some food. Almonds, cheese, and some of the rye you like from the Albanes. Otto wanted me to ask you to join him for dinner at the Abbey. Otto stopped by? Yes, around dawn. Interesting. Here you are, Andreas. That's too kind of you, Clara. Many thanks. Master Andreas, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could we... would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? And if we raised it by 2 groschen? Are you serious? At the same time? I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Peter's losing his hair over it, even more than usual, I mean. Of course, there's no problem at all. Besides, I wouldn't want Peter to lose any more of his precious hair. I suppose that's not out of the question. Yes, I think I can manage that. I can't promise anything. We'll see what I can do. Will I... Wait, were these taxes unexpected? Yeah, let's ask. Wait, were these taxes unexpected? Peter says our taxes didn't go up for years, but ever since we've been married, it's just gone up and up. It used to be that if we didn't have the money, we could make payment in kind with some of our crops. I haven't stopped that last year. Now, if we don't get a good price from the miller, it's hard to give the Abbey its share. I know it's not your problem, Andreas, and Peter's too proud to ask you himself. Can you find it in your heart to help us out? Issues. I'm a bad issue. I'm no one to judge. What self-respecting bisexual doesn't have a thing for cheekbones, my friend? I didn't know that was a standard measure used to attract. I can't say I've ever thought of it before, but you learn something new every day. Michael, appreciate the $2, man. Downloading Kingmaker now. Thanks for the stream. Absolutely. Hope you enjoy it, man. And I have played through it. So if you end up having questions while you go through the game, by all means, just reach out. I'll be happy to help. I wanted to watch earlier, but was busy with getting stuff in order since apparently Twitter is dying, going to crash, and I have a lot of accounts to deal with. You're a big deal on Twitter, Argo? I didn't know. Yeah, I saw some of that stuff earlier today. It's been the first time that I'm glad I've only got, like, what, a couple hundred followers? Like, if I need to pick up and set up shop someplace else, shouldn't be a problem at all. I hope the end of the Pillars of Eternity was satisfying. Sorry I missed it, though. Granted, I missed so much of the playthrough. I guess it's fitting I missed the end, too. It's all good. It's all on my live playlist. It's no problem. But, yeah, I definitely enjoyed the ending. Definitely enjoyed the playthrough. Glad I chose that game. And hopefully the Pillars of Eternity 2 playthrough is just as good. Damn, Andrea's got some nice hair. Got a 70s rocker look going on there. Yeah, it absolutely does. Of course, it's no problem at all. Besides, we wouldn't want Peter to lose any more of his precious hair. Oh, God bless you, Andreas, and may St. Luke watch over you today. Speaking of St. Luke, how is your masterpiece coming along? It's been 2 months now, hasn't it? Slowly, I'm afraid. Most of my days are spent doing work for the Abbey. It's only during the divine office that Prior Fenric allows me to work on my masterpiece. A reasonable restriction, but slow going. The city council doesn't require it to become a master. I'm making it mostly to show clients, and for my own sake. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg, where I will marry and open a workshop of my own. From Nuremberg to a university and now traveling the world as an artist. What a life you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life after. After a few missteps? Sure, everybody makes mistakes. Oh no, a little too much fun. It must be rather frightening starting all over again. No, that is what I want to do. I owe it to my family to make something of my life. This will be remembered. They helped me even after I dropped out of university. I can't let them down. I'm sure you make your family proud, Andreas. Anyway, I don't know anything about art, but I've seen you sketching some beautiful things in your little book. Your masterpiece must be wonderful. Well, it's hard to say until it's done. There's no way to think about it. I'm sure it'll be a treasure when it's finished. Now, I have to get back to my own work. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas, and we'll see you at the Vesters for supper. Not tonight, but thank you. Klaus Drucker invited me over for supper. Of course. Please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course. Until later, Claire. So now I can go out if I wanted to. Then we got Claire, we got Eva. Hello, Andreas. Oh. Guess she doesn't say much. No problem. My man rocking that red skirt. Absolutely. He's seriously bow-legged. Boss man, you happy Twitter's died? Why? Tons of people are flocking to Discord for various reasons. Maybe this is a sign that you should make a Discord server soon. Oh God, let's not do that. I hope not. I'm not ready. You guys are really laying on thick with the Discord thing. Oh God, thank you, Abandonment. I appreciate you, man. I only care that Twitter is dying for the sake of role-playing and keeping in touch with artists' friends. I mean, it's unslandered, of course, if Winnie wants to make the Discord server. I was just saying. And there goes Isaac. I would love a Discord server. You know what? Not this year, but next year, we will make a Discord server. I'm at 10,000 subscribers. I got a nice big audience. I think we're at a point where I can reasonably say if I made a Discord server, there would probably be some people who would want to join. So we will make that happen. I will buckle down, figure out how Discord works, and make that happen. Or I'll hire somebody who manages the server for me. We'll see. Yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should just put out a post and be like, hey, I want to start a Discord server, but I don't know anything about it. Who from the channel wants to help me set one up? Okay. I can't talk to him? Okay. Shift to walk toggle. Okay, so you can either walk or you can run. Oh, no, it's a toggle. Okay, so that's a run. Okay, cool. How do I, there we go, Peter. Andreas. And nothing, okay. Peter second. God bless you. I had Twitter since inception, like 4chan. I would join the Discord, though, next year, TM. But neat. No pressure, though, Slandered, for real. I appreciate it. Boss Pays, that movie Inception, that's a strange bone to pick. Andreas. Oh, yes, Andreas. This weather's been god-awful. The town's gone to shit since my days. I don't think the townsfolk can do much about the weather. Were things very different when you were young? As different as beer and piss. The old abbot didn't bother as much about our customs. He didn't mind if we left a little offering to pressure to keep the skies clear, the weather fair. Tab for the glossary. Oh, that's nice. Pagan goddess of the Alps, associated with animals and spinning wool, she is still invoked by some Christians in Australia, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. Oh, that's going to get plenty of use. Wow. No pressure, Isaac. I'm all good. I don't let anybody pressure me into something I really don't want to do, but I want to provide my community with value. So if you all see a Discord server as valuable, I feel like it's my responsibility as the host of the community to go ahead and make that happen. Matthias knew that Christ was in our hearts, even if the white lady's name was on our lips. Let's see, what do they have for Christ? It's in red, but nothing's happening. Oh, well. I guess they don't feel the need to explain that. Church banned all observances of pagan gods, Peter. What sort of old customs? Also, if it's in red, that probably ends the conversation. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, just like Wrath of Righteous Kingmaker. Absolutely. The kind that scare away witches and keep spirits from calling storm clouds over our farms. Saints went the first to watch over Tyson. My father knew that. Old Rannick Kemper knew that. Rannick Kemper, the late husband of Attilia. I don't know Attilia either, but okay. That bastard abbot may not like it, but some of us keep the traditions alive. What do these traditions entail? When you get up in the night to take a piss, go around the right side of the house and never go back the same way. The way the witches don't steal your soul. Oh. Oh, how interesting. I should go. All right. God bless you. That was awesome. He doesn't say anything, right? He doesn't have anything. Okay. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Big Jorg. How's it going? You working today? Just taking a rest for a bit. Dad's still in the field. He hit a big rock with the plow, and it took me Lord knows how long to pull it out. You off to the Abbey? Where else would I be going? Damn, Andreas, I don't know. Just making conversation. Oh, my bad. Smells like a storm's coming, no? All right, so don't always take the investigative option or the option that doesn't end the conversation. Huh. Just smells like fresh alpine air to me. You've been traveling too much. Where was it you spent your Wanderhar before you came to Tassing? Wanderhar? Wandering years, during which a journeyman artist or craftsman travels far and wide to improve their skills. Interesting. Indeed, I want to, but I have no experience in that regard either. Suspicious old man that guy is. What's going on, Highway? How are you? Glad you're able to make the stream. Yeah, superstitious. That's a nice information page. Absolutely. All we have to do is remember the button for it. So, whoops. Imagine the entry for Jesus. Just, I don't know, man. It's Jesus. Read a damn book. I would have been satisfied with that. I'm just excited by the concept of you having a Discord server and everything, hype and all that. I wish I could help you in terms of the server itself. Don't worry. We're going to figure it out. We'll make it happen. I'll make that Discord server happen. Pick a background that will affect your character's choices going forward. Press and hold to confirm your choice. So you could have a background. So this is where you spent your wandering years. Basel. Andreas knows some Italian and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Basel and nearby Bern, Zurich, and Freiburg. It doesn't allow me to go up or down. I don't understand how I am supposed to choose other options. Oh, wait, maybe. No, not that. I'm confused. How do I... I cannot go up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 does nothing. Oh. Aha. So W and S, that's what it expects you to use. That's interesting. Flanders. Andreas knows some... Okay, so this was Italian and French. This is Dutch and French. It can reference cultural touchstones from Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent, or Italy. Andreas knows Italian, a little Greek, and can reference cultural touchstones from Florence, Venice, and Milan. I like knowing Italian. I love Italian food, so we'll go with this. Bam, Italy. Italy. Florence for a while, but Venice and Milan as well. Just enjoy talking about nerd stuff. I would love to have a place where we could talk to you and other people in the channel easier, because YouTube is definitely not good for that, at least to me. Agreed. Yep. I'll do it. Hola, camera. What's going on? How are you? You missed the end of Pillars of Eternity, so we're now on Pentiment, which you probably already know, because I think you were already playing this game, right? Yeah, you gave me like half a review of it. Italy. No wonder your sisters are dull. You've been down there too long. Spend enough time in these mountains and you'll be able to smell a storm coming. Click escape and mouse buttons for a bit. Clicking enter locks your mouse for whatever reason. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, my mouse still isn't showing up, but whatever, it's fine. I don't need it anymore. How long will that take? 10, 15 years? I don't think I have that long, Big Jorg. What'd you spend all that time in Italy doing anyway? Other than art, I mean. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely a hedonist. I don't even need to look at the other ones. But we will look at the other ones. Craftsman. Andreas lives to work and dedicates all of his time to art. Bookworm. He spends all of his non-working free time finding and reading as many books as he possibly can. Andreas' penchant for getting involved in petty schemes, pranks, minor crimes, and fist fights. Or he devotes most of his time to self-promotion, optimizing business expenses, making investment balancing budget. No. Hedonist. Andreas seeks out pleasure wherever he goes. He is extremely social and quite experienced in all of the enjoyable vices of the world. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Italian women are beautiful and the wine is exquisite. What do you think I spent my time doing? Sounds like fun, but you better not let Father Thomas hear about it. Before I went abusing the console to get myself heavy background. Hey, we're gonna find out whether or not it calls story issues. It might very well do it. Oh, I also went with Italy at first. Oh, nice. Okay. Managing and monitoring a Discord server can be a little difficult depending on how much your audience grows, which it will grow even more. I'm certain of it. I'm certainly hoping so, but that's why we're going to have somebody who actually manages it for me, so I don't have to worry about all that stuff. I'm not going to be doing all this myself. I got a wife, I got a kid, I got a job, and I don't have time for it. Why not? Priests tell us to emulate the lives of the saints. I revere St. Augustine, who said, "Lord, make me chaste, but not yet." St. Augustine of Hippo was an early Christian philosopher, theologian, and bishop of Hippo Regis. He is recognized as a doctor of the church and is most known for his works, The City of God, and his autobiographic Confessions, as well as his development of the doctrine of original sin. If you say so, Andreas, I still think you're going to get in trouble with Father Thomas. York. Anyway, I have to get going. York, let's go. Dad's already acting like I'm taking too long, even though I did all the work to get that rock out. See you later, Andreas. Until later. Soon as I saw Hedonist, I also said me too, absolutely. Wow, me and Andreas have nothing in common. Jason, what's going on? Glad you're able to enjoy the stream. Yeah. We finished Pillars of Eternity today, so I started Pentiment. Father Thomas, if my time in the Catholic Church taught me anything, give a coin for tithe and confession, and you're all good. Andreas, okay, nothing new from him. No problem. Let's go. Town Commons. Indris. Hello, Andreas. Indris Smith's smithy. It's so much smaller than the one he uses at the Abbey. This looks unfortunate. Martin, please, can you give me a hand here? What do you want? I'm keeping an eye on him. That looks a lot like standing there and doing nothing. Martin, for Christ's sake, help your cousin. Morning, Andreas. Excuse us. One of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it. I'm not going around calling people idiots. Is there something I can do to help? Have you ever handled sheep before? Well, Good point. Oh, look. There's something going on up in Stenvarv's place. Uh-oh. Who's that on the horse? Looks rich. I don't know, Martin, but Lucky has given him an earful. Christ, I haven't seen Lucky that worked up since Peter and Clara's wedding when Joanne pulled his pants down. Knocked two of my man's teeth out. You don't want to feel the strength behind a stonemason's anger. You think he's a noble? He looks really rich. God damn it, Martin. Stay out of trouble for once. What, on heady? Behave yourself. Don't we have enough to deal with right now? Andreas, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up the road, we need to get these sheep under control. Of course. See you later. Man, he gets no respect. Help your aunt and your cousin, all right? Yeah, eat shit, Andreas. I feel like buying to pay penance for your sins is kind of sacrilegious to me, but I ain't judging. Martin must work for the city, standing there watching everyone else work. Come on now. Hey, though maybe the confession I gave was moot, I did make out with a girl in the confessional booth immediately after. I will say 100% worth it. Wow, I've never done anything like that before. I don't know if I can do it. I'm not Catholic, but still, I don't know if I can do it. What? Okay, fine. Hey, Andreas. Hello, Andreas. I can't talk to them at all? Oh, wait. What's up with this? Oh, no. That's still just Indris, right? Yeah. He's got nothing new. Can't go up there, so I guess we just move forward. It's weird. I can't. When there's a thought bubble below the dialogue, you can click it for a bit of disco-style dialogue with your dream daddy, Socrates and Grobian. Oh! Well, thank you. Didn't realize I was missing that. All right. Looks like I got to move forward. I can't get involved in whatever heated discussion they're having there. Whoa. What's the purpose of all that? All right. Morning, Andreas. How's it going? Morning, Klaus. Another day at the Abbey. Another few hours to work on my masterpiece. Good to hear. You still coming by for supper tonight? Marie and Bert would love to see you. Oh, were these the little kiddos I saw before? Maybe? Okay. You really need to see these new woodcuts. I have for an Italian edition of Till Eulenspiegel. Till Eulenspiegel, the titular character of a popular 15th century book. Till is a prankster, continually exposing the vices and hypocrisy of others. He is also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling, touching, or eating his excrement. Wow, that's one hell of a skill. Usually lets you rule out at least one bad choice. Interesting. Okay, I'll definitely keep that in mind in the future. I'm not either. That's why I could do. He's a printer. His text was being Pringy? I didn't realize Father Thomas let you print books in Italian. Come on, Andre. Oh, he's a printer. His text was being printed. Oh, come on, Andreas. He's not that strict. I know he's just trying to protect people from... Witch mania? Oh, God, don't say that, Andreas. We're less than a day's ride from Innsbruck. Innsbruck, capital of the Austrian country of Tyrol and major stop on the Imperial Road connecting Italy and Bavaria. It is the closest major city to Curaçao Abbey in passing. Notably, it was also the site of witch trials in 1485. No need to get people around here all worked up about witches again. Besides, don't talk about witches around Father Thomas. Just a bad idea. Good to know. So, supper tonight after Vespers? Vespers, monastic hour at dusk, one of the major prayer hours, is followed by supper. Of course, thank you. Great, I'll tell Marie and Bert you're coming. See you then. See you later. He has a very specific set of skills. Your sloppy typesetting. It's an option there, and they won't let me go in the house. That's interesting. God bless Master Mailer. I hope your week is going well. But I'm running late. Thank you, Father. It's going quite well. I'm just on my way up the hill to get to work. We'll go with 2. Thank you, Father, but I'm running late to the Abbey. It's no problem if you don't have time for me today, but the question is, will you have time for the Lord on Sunday? You understand how important it is for your salvation that you receive Holy Communion, don't you? God dug it. One moment. And those are gone. There we go. Back at it. So, let's see. I just stayed up too late on Saturday. I don't want to get into an argument with him about this. Would going to church on Sunday be such a burden? Oh, so it gives you like new options. Will going to church on Sunday be such a burden? If not for his sake, consider it for your own. A man has many duties. Father Thomas should appreciate how hard you work to help the Abbey. This asshole can't make you go to Mass? The hell with them. Will going to church on Sunday be such a burden? If not for his sake, consider it for your own. Mass can be an uplifting experience, remember? Right, there's no need to argue. I should make a better effort to get to Sunday Mass. Yes, I apologize, Father Thomas. I promise you I'll make it this Sunday. You don't have to make a promise to me, but our salvation is contingent on the... Oh my, what a blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Thank you, Camera. I appreciate you. I really was completely ignoring those thought bubbles. I already hate this priest, and he's had like 2 lines. Master Mailer, this is Lorenz, Baron of Rothvogel, a great lord from the countryside near Worms. Worms, prosperous imperial free city in the western part of the empire. Located on the Rhine River, Worms has been the site of many imperial diets. Wait, diets? Diets. Imperial diets? Okay, whatever. Good to see you, Father Thomas. It is nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors were as welcoming. Well, yes. What brings you back to our little town? My wife and I were returning from a trip to Venice. We spent a few days in Innsbruck, and it was terribly dull. Venice, one of the most powerful republics on the Italian peninsula. Sitting on the northwest coast of the Adriatic Sea, Venice is a major center for commerce and art in southern Europe. I mean, it has a certain charm common to these alpine cities, but the place was crawling with nobles for the emperor's diet. An imperial diet is an assembly of the 3 colleges of the imperial states of the Holy Roman Empire, the prince-electors, the princes and dukes, and representatives of the imperial cities. They meet to deliberate on matters of importance to the empire. FYI, Mailer is pronounced Mahler, not Mailer. Mahler, literally painter in German. Thank you. Once again. I just like that they made Andreas Opera. Man, I'm loving this art style. They managed to make the character so expressive. I absolutely agree. Yep, I'm appreciating this thus far. The Imperial Diet was a governing council of sorts in the Holy Roman Empire. I don't understand why illustrated horses look like this during the period. Meep, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream. Hope you've been enjoying it. Thank you, Toxic. Appreciate that. Let's see. The Emperor, was he there? Did you see him? Oh, briefly, but he was sitting for a portrait at the time. Quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter. Ooh, I get a background-specific option. How was Venice, my lord? I lived there only a few years ago. Oh, fascinating. Well, the city's Jews now live in their own quarter in the north. The city's artists are still producing wonderful work. Titian, in particular, is a god. No offense, Father. Of course. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck, and I decided right ahead to make a visit to Curacao. I heard Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course. Father Matthias, abbot of Curacao before Father Gernot, widely respected by the monks and nuns as well as the people of Tassing, known for his kindness and his love of books. A great loss for the abbey and for all us all. I was just typing out what it was, but the game explained it. It's all good. I think, not totally sure, that horses used to be generally smaller than they are now. That would probably make sense. They're bred differently now. I typed it out just for it to be explained 2 seconds later. It's all good. Most horses were smaller, like the wild ponies of Europe. The larger breeds we see today are a result of efficient breeding. That's what I figured. Yep. Indeed. By good fortune, I recently came across a copy of the Historia Tasse he was reading during my last visit. Historia Tasse, an account of the early history of tassing. Curaçao's previous abbot, Father Matthias, had a copy. Baron Rotvogel brought another to the abbey as a gift. Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents of the first. It contains some fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid they might even cause a bit of a scandal. Yes. But I must be off. There will be time enough to discuss Tassing's past later. I commissioned a manuscript from the Abbey through Father Gernot, and I have come to check on his progress. Oh, my lord, if you have come to see your manuscript, then you should speak with young Master Mailer here. So Painter. So not, I would say Mahler, but it's actually Mailer. Okay, cool. Not quite a true master yet. I still have the Marion be approved by our city council. Or it's just an honor to meet you, my lord. No, we're going to be transparent. Not quite a true maester yet. I still have the Marion be approved by our city council. Andreas is a journeyman artist from Nuremberg, and for the next few months, he's also helping in the Abbey's scriptorium. Nuremberg, free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, major trade center and city of arts, including printing, scriptorium, a room for writing, illustrating, and illuminating manuscripts. Though typically associated with monasteries, they have disappeared from almost all abbeys by the 16th century. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me, that the diet they fed horses changed sort of drastically from the 15 to 1600s alongside a change in breeding efficiency, which is why horses changed over time. They probably had an imperial diet. Nice. The other way around. A Nuremberger artist working in an abbey scriptorium in 1518? Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story. Of course, my lord. It would be an honor. Well, I'm already late to the abbey, but I suppose it's all right. No, he knows his betters. Of course, my lord, it would be an honor. This will be remembered. Wonderful. It's so rare to find someone in the countryside who knows anything about art. Thank you for the introduction, Father Thomas. Come to supper at the Abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the Abbot's table. Did the Abbot invite me? Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up at the Vespers. What is he going to do, refuse us? Excellent. We will see you then. Nicholas, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us and take the horses to the Abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time talking with Master Mahler, Painter, Mailer. I'll meet you there. I'm never going to get this right. At once, my lord. So then, a journeyman from Nuremberg. Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old to not yet be a master. Are you unmarried? No, I'm not married, but in truth I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years at Erfurt. Erfurt, wonderful! The same university as Martin Luther. Have you read his works? Tremendous mind. Erfurt is one of the most populous cities in the empire and is located near its heart. It has been home to a respected university since 1379 and is a center for humanist thought. Martin Luther, priest and professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg, controversial for his opinions on the church's sale of indulgences to forgive sin, which were recently published and distributed throughout the empire. General animal feed back then was mostly natural foraging with some feed stored for winter or leaner months. That changed when industrial scale farming made feed easier and more efficient. Clementine will remember this. Remember what? I wish the game had more efficient tooltip delivery. There are a lot of tooltips, and this zoom out stuff is slow and gets old. Yeah, I'm getting a feel for that, but for right now, it's still cool. I'm a massive history nerd, so the game's pop-out explanations are really cool to me. Yep, I'm definitely enjoying reading them. I agree with Camera that the method you use to get them should be a little bit better, but the actual content, I'm feeling it so far. I have very narrow expertise in the culinary evolution of Western Europe and the Mediterranean for no real reason. Nice. The game kind of reminds me of The Life of Suffering of Sir Brandt, though that is a fantasy game visual novel. Deals with the church, nobles, etc. Medieval setting too. Who knows? He's a noble. He might prefer the French pronunciation. He says things about the church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into trouble, but he's a brave man. Brilliant man. Wait, you may have even met him. Did you? You must tell me. No. He was a few years ahead of me. Still, his ideas do seem fascinating. His ideas don't hold much interest for me, I'm afraid. Still, his ideas do seem fascinating. I agree wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. I wonder if the good brothers of the Abbey have heard of him. Perhaps they have even read his list of 95 theses against the church. 95 theses, a list of proportions against the church's practice of selling indulgences for the remission of sin. It was written in 1517 by Martin Luther. Sir Brandt is so good. Father Matthias was not above having a lively debate. I hope Father Granat does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about your university studies. Forgive me, Baron, but did you attend university? You seem very well educated. No. My family is merely wealthy enough to have provided me with all of the books and tutors a child could dream of. I love all knowledge, from Aristotle and Cicero to Ficino and Aramis, and everyone in between and yet to come. Absolute trip of a game. Definitely one of my favorites, and Camera seems to agree. Interesting. Cicero, statesman, scholar, lawyer, and renowned orator of the late Roman Republic. He is revered both for his contributions to Latin literature and his skill at rhetoric. Ficino. Marcello Ficino was a 15th century Italian priest and humanist who was one of the leading figures of the Italian Renaissance. He is well known for his translations of the works of Plato into Latin. Aristotle, Greek philosopher and student of Plato. Renowned as a polymath, he wrote on a wide variety of subjects. His work is extensively cited by current scholars, and even more work is attributed to him than he could have ever written. Erasmus of Rotterdam, a Dutch priest and philosopher who is preeminent among northern humanists. He is known for his work in Latin and Greek, as well as his calls for reform within the church. I may have misjudged the Baron. It seems he is as well read as any university student. In truth, I am simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate? No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. I started working toward a doctorate, but didn't finish. Oh, that's a shame. Well, what was your area of study? Pick another background. Theology. Andreas has a strong understanding of Catholic theology, biblical knowledge, canon law, heresies and similar subjects, imperial law. Andreas knows the basis of the fractured systems of laws that govern the various states of the Holy Roman Empire, or medicine. Andreas is familiar with the basics of human biology, medicine, and illness. I'm going to go with imperial law. Andreas knows the basis of the fractured systems of laws that govern the various states of the Holy Roman Empire. He spent his time learning about law so he can figure out how to live without law. Michael, thanks for joining the stream. Have a good night, man. Take care. Just dropped by the stream temporarily to get a feel for Pentiment. Looks really interesting. Will definitely pick it up for myself at some point based on what I've seen so far. Glad to hear it, Demas, and glad you're able to join the stream. Hope you're doing all right. Law. I suppose I thought I could practice in Nuremberg. I never had much interest in the subject, honestly. A bit dull for my taste. Besides, the Empire is such a mess of jurisdictions. Bavarian law, Rhenish law, Franconian law. Nonsense. I'd rather use my money to pay someone who studied the nonsense than learn it myself. You. If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face here again. Curse you, Lorenz Brothvogel. Pachata's dogs tearing you to pieces would be too kind a fate. Perchta, pagan goddess of the Alps, associated with animals and spinning wool. She is still invoked by some Christians in Australia, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. Okay, that's the one we looked at earlier. Okay, Perchta. Damn, he is not welcome. These rustic communities display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think? What was that about? Who knows? By the time I finish guessing, the old crone will probably be dead. Well, what of your early time in university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrivium, yes? Trivium and quadrivium. The trivium and quadrivium represent the lower and upper divisions of a classic liberal arts university education. Latin, grammar, logic, and rhetoric form the trivium. Arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy form the quadrivium. Did you have a favorite subject? Gonna wait till I'm in the right mood to play a game like this, though. Seems like something that you need to be in the right frame of mind to enjoy. It's possible. And for nothing but it's Plato. Oh, Plato. What did I say? Plato? Plato. Plato's The Republic is still taught on a lot of universities today. Let's hope he would never have gone to trial. Knowing imperial law is a good choice, since in the empire, moving to a different company within it could have a dozen new laws related to the same subject. If you see a V in a German-looking name, it's read as F because it's the letter Fa. So Rothvogel is Rathvogel. Oh, Resbird. Redbird. Redbird? What does that mean? So Rothvogel. Interesting. Thank you. Oh, more backgrounds. Background in Latinist. Andreas has a strong command of Latin grammar and vocabulary. He can also easily recall sententia antiquae, quoted words of wisdom from the Roman Republic and Empire. Logician. Andreas instinctively thinks through the implications of information as he receives it, is adept at spatial analysis, and can easily perform complicated calculations in his head. Orator. Andreas excelled at rhetoric in university. He is a skilled teacher, persuader, and public speaker. Occultist. Andreas knows a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, theurgy, necromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies. Finally, heaven and earth. Andreas knows a great deal about the constellations, heavenly bodies, and their movement. He's also familiar with various plants and animals from study and personal experience. We will go with orator, which ties in directly with our hedonist background. He's good at talking people in to doing the things that he wants them to do for his own pleasure. Rothvogel is German for redbird. Interesting. In a similar vein, W is pronounced like V. Occultist? Yes, please. Occultist background be interesting considering witchcraft seems to be mentioned quite a few times. Sorry, I didn't read that before I chose one. But no, I'm comfortable with it. I want persuasion. Persuasion and hedonism go hand in hand. Persuasion and hedonism and witchcraft, less so. I assume you studied the Greeks and Romans both. Yes, Aristotle and Cicero, of course, but also Christian thinkers like Augustine and Thomas Aquinas. Cicero, we know. Thomas Aquinas, an immensely influential philosopher, theology, and a jurist in the tradition of scholasticism. Aristotle, we read. Augustine, we read. Yep. Okay, cool. True. We have less use for public discourse than senators did in the Roman Republic. Exactly. The doctors of the church weren't trying to persuade politicians, but to move the mind toward Christian truth. W is double V rather than W in some languages, so that makes sense. Still, the principles remain the same. Invent your arguments, then arrange style and internalize them before delivering them to your audience. Splendid. Though I suppose an artist has little use for rhetoric, especially in a place such as this. Not true. Rhetoric is also an art, and like other forms of art, it should be created for the audience and its purpose. Hedonism and occultism less so. You underestimate goth girls, my friend. That's actually an excellent call out. This is true. This is true. Hedonism and occultism is the definition of Slanish for Warhammer 40k. I'm not familiar with that, so I don't know the reference. I think I'm definitely going to pick this game up tomorrow. As for hedonism and witchcraft, actually it does work. What with the traditional links between witchcraft, hedonism, and Satan, it works. This is true. I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. It can be practiced as easily in the streets of a rural town as in the Curia of Rome. What's the description of Rome? Though outshone by its northern neighbor, Florence, Rome is still the seat of power for the Catholic Church and an impressive center for the arts. Well put. And your other studies, was there anything else you excelled at? Ooh. Hey, I get two! Well. Guess what we're going to do? Y'all convince me. Andreas knows a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, theurgy, necromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies. Ooh, that makes me very happy. Indeed. I use my access to the university's library to pursue more esoteric interest. Also, esoteric how? Mystical texts, books on alchemy, invoking spirits, divination. Purely academic, of course. Of course. Ooh, this is an interesting conversation. I like this. I started with Ficino's Corpus Hermeticum, and my interest only deepened from there. Ficino. We already read about this. Corpus Hermeticum, a compilation of 17 religious and philosophical treatises encompassing the soteriology of Hermes Trismegistus, or thrice great Hermes. The centuries-old texts reflect Egyptian, Greek, and Jewish traditions and ideas and were translated into Latin in the late 15th century by Marsilio Ficino and Lodovico. So it would be Lodovico Lazzarelli. Interesting. If you play Outcast, you'll know what I mean. I definitely plan on it. I've made a study of real-life occultism, so I know way more than I should. Really? That's awesome. Let's go. Andrea's going to get his goth girlfriend after all. I had to choose the option. Bob, what's going on? How are you? I hope this game is good. I'm still salty they pumped this out rather than working on a new Pillars game. All things in due time. Hopefully, if Avowed does well, they'll do another Pillars game. Waiting for the Malleus Maleficarum name drop. It's sort of like a dummy's first hermetic sorcerer text. Interesting. Quite interesting, Andreas. I'll make some time to speak with you more on this topic during my stay. I'll look forward to it, my lord. Please be discreet about it. Do you want to be discreet about it, or just say I look forward to it? I'll look forward to it, my lord. There's the Abbey. Well, I'm off to bed. Got family entertained tomorrow after all. This game looks great. I'll try it out tomorrow. Thanks, Argo. Hope you enjoy the game. Have a good night. I want to describe this as pumped out. Seems like a real labor of love to me. So far, but we're early. So jury's still out. I have good memories of this place and of Father Matthias. I was sad to hear of his passing. How did you come to know him? How did you come to know of Curacao at all? My family have been patrons of Curacao for, I don't know how many generations. Some years ago, I heard that Curacao still had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscript production, so I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here. No. The artists that remain here are quite talented, if a bit old-fashioned. Well, Curacao is more than a bit old-fashioned. Some of my friends think I'm mad for commissioning a manuscript from an abbey in this day and age. But, well, my family have been patrons of Curacao for generations. It seems wrong to stop now while there's still talent there. I commissioned a manuscript through Father Gernot a year ago. I thought I would stop by and check on the progress. Wait, are you the artist working on it? It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations. I know the work, but no, I do know the artist well, the venerable brother Piero. Yep, okay, cool. How venerable? He still has his wits and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero has an incredible talent with color. Then I very much look forward to seeing it. It seems Charles Sawyer's self-indulgent adventure, but I recognize my saltiness. Josh Sawyer made 2 damn Pillars games, all right? He's not self-indulgent for deciding, okay, you know what, I'm going to do something else. In fact, he made two Pillars games, and wasn't he on Tyranny as well? So let the guy catch a break. This is a game he's been dreaming of for like 20 years, and he finally got an opportunity to be able to create it. Let's not drag him for that, all right? Lord willing, we'll get a Pillars of Eternity 3 sometime in the future. This is 1518. Some of the more popular occult texts haven't been written, but all the older ones from about 1200 to 1500 should be dust and be rather informative. Michaelos, tend to the horses and the baggage. I'm heading up to the Abbey. Yes, my lord. Well, let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Uh-oh. Nuns. Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated. Benedictine, founded in the 6th century, the Benedictines are a Christian monastic order that observes vows and obedience, poverty, chastity, and stability under the rule of Saint Benedict of Nursia. Have a lot over Sawyer. Is that even really a fair comparison? Avalon is just a writer, right? Whereas Sawyer actually is a narrative designer and director. They're not really in the same category, are they? Or am I just unfamiliar with the level to which Avalon gets involved in his projects? No, he wasn't on Tyranny, but he did work on New Vegas. All right, so same difference. He was on three great games. I knew he had at least 3 great games to his resume. I really should play Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, shouldn't I? You absolutely should. Absolutely. The church closed, most of them centuries ago. But then, Curacao is a place out of time in more ways than one. Why were they closed? Monks and nuns living side by side cannot behave themselves. I don't blame them, though. The church shouldn't either. It's just human nature, after all. Ah, you must be Father Gernot. I am Lorenz, Baron of... Yes, the Baron of Rothfogel. So wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit. Ah, if you say so. I am not good with remembering faces. Please forgive me, my lord, but I wasn't expecting you for another few days. Yes, I know, but I rode ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble. Yes, I mean, no, it's no trouble. Did you want to see it now? Oh, in a moment. I could do with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen? Yes, certainly, my lord. I will meet you there. Yeah, it's not like we get a ton of stylized narrative games, Demas. I definitely agree. Avalon was a senior designer on all Obsidian games and narrative designer on both Pathfinder games. Interesting. Okay. Older Obsidian games. He left a while ago. Interesting. I would have to look at his specific resume and then compare what Sawyer's done to say whether or not I would put him above. Florian, what's going on? Yeah, we finished Pillars of Eternity first, and now we're doing Pentiment. But the stream is going to stop shortly. As soon as this conversation ends and I get a save, it's time for time for me to end. I'm getting sleepy. Oh, Andreas, I don't know what you were doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium now. He's not my problem. Is this a bad time to ask for an advance on my payment for the Book of Hours? No, it's not. Is this a bad time to ask for an advance on my payment for the Book of Hours? What's the Book of Hours? Scriptorium Book of Hours, a type of illuminated manuscript that contains an abbreviated form of the prayers for the divine office in addition to other religious texts. Most are relatively plain, but wealthy pages often commission lavish examples with elaborate illustrations. So 3. Is this a bad time to ask for an advance on my payment for the Book of Hours? I should ask Gabe when he's in a better mood. Apparently. Maybe I could just convince Brother Matthew to pay me early. Matthew. Okay. And there we go. I think that saved it. All right. It's not giving me a save option. I really, really hate it when games don't let you manually save. Why? It's almost absolutely never a good thing, but whatever. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the stream. That is enough for me. I am at the end of my rope, but I definitely enjoyed this time together. Definitely really, 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 really cool to finally be done with the Pillars of Eternity playthrough. And now it seems like we've moved forward into yet another cool game. So looking forward to continue this playthrough with all of you. Glad you all enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. I might go ahead and try to stream tomorrow night as well. As you all can see, I'm trying to stream more and more, trying to be a lot more consistent about it. So I might stream sometime over the weekend, or otherwise, you'll definitely see me next week on Monday, and we'll go ahead and continue with this. But until then, I am signing off. I need to get some sleep. So I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Take care, Demas. Have a good one, Abandonment. Camera, take care. Toxic, really good to see you, man. Take care. Take care, Stubbs. Have a good one.